another Founder Wisdom pod with David Stepania himself. He's a founder, often talks about startups, AI, bootstrapping, VC stuff. He has this startup right now, which Dave might hint about, but he's also founder at PitchBase, ThirstySprout. And yeah, we might want to talk about some of his past experience, which are quite interesting as well. Member at some mastermind clubs, Sampar's Hampton. Dave, can you introduce yourself and tell us about what you're into nowadays?
Yeah, my name's David. I'm a founder of mostly like ThirstySprout is my primary company. We built remote engineering teams for companies here in the US. Have worked with big and small companies like Intuit, MailChimp, Rover, Momentum Space. These are some of like the bigger unicorns or enterprises, but we also work with a lot of early stage startups, usually VC backed startups, backed by some great investors like Kozla, Anderson Horowitz, et cetera, et cetera. So that's kind of like my primary business. Last year we did, we grew our team to about 50 some people. We did over a couple $1 million in revenue. Been working on this company for about 5 years now. It grew a little slower than I was hoping, but I think we're making some pivotal changes here, and we're really looking to double or triple our team size in the next 2 to 3 years, or maybe even one. We'll see how the economy shapes up. Besides that, or I guess prior to that, I owned a company called Data Micro. We were reselling networking equipment all over Europe, the US. We've done, I don't know, $20 million in revenue first year in the business, about first 18 months. And total was about closer to 80 while the company was up and running. And besides that, I have a lot of fails in between, a lot of product ideas that I always test and try out to bring to the market, and kind of essentially like the reason why I even started ThirstySprout, because I wanted to have my own dev team that I could trust, or a product team that when the time comes we can build together. And I think we're kind of approaching that time. We've been testing and validating a couple of different product ideas. I think Charles, as you mentioned, something in the intersection of AI and hiring. Currently it's in stealth mode. I can't really disclose too much. We're talking with some good customers, but it's too early to hype it up. And yeah, I think in a nutshell, that's most of my, mostly kind of like what I've been working on for past few years. I do, and as you mentioned, I'm part of a couple communities. One of them is, PitchBase, which I built myself. We have about 6,000 early stage founders in our Facebook group, and we have a few hundred people that signed up for a private group for elite founders of Series A and above companies. And one other community, Hampton, that I became a part of a few months ago, something Sampar started, also a great community. And yeah, love to network with people, love to talk with people who are building and learning, and whatever advice I can share from my past experience and vice versa, always here to help.
Yeah, man. Thanks for that intro. Well, okay. Well, you mentioned like slow growth, and you guys did 5 meals. Indeed, yeah, you got some VC funding, but that's pretty impressive to most. You've got investments as well. So
no, we didn't. Yeah, this is all bootstrapped. Everything I've ever done was bootstrapped. We're looking to raise funding for our next company, potentially.
Got it. Well, that's even more
Yeah.
impressive, so I'm not sure about the slow growth part of it. To me, you seem pretty successful. So it's like you have your own eyes to look at yourself, but sometimes you have others to look at you and give you their opinion. To me, you look pretty successful. So why this discrepancy between your opinion and mine?
Um, yeah, I don't know. I think maybe it's like from the background that I come from. I was born in a country called Republic of Georgia to a Russian mother, and things
Wow.
are, with Russian moms, like things are never good enough. So you're always like trying to accomplish more.
Right.
And I also have, uh, someone who, like my brother who was actually the first NBA player from Republic of
Holy
Georgia.
shit.
He got drafted by the Supersonics in 2000. And so I think maybe there's a bit of a competitive spirit that
Right.
I don't personally feel that way, but it's just like, hey, if he can do that, like I should be able to do something also.
Right. And sometimes my case is just like straight up comparing me with top artists or top top NBA players, like, oh, they made 200 million this year, then yeah, I'm still gonna compete against that, and go Elon Musk style and have a net worth of 25 billion. So I won't care about their meager 200 million. And there's pros and cons to that. I mean, it's always nice to have big ambitions, but I was reflecting on that yesterday with a couple. I think they're like, yeah, respectively 85 and 87 years old, and they coached executives for quite a while, and they were telling me like, look, Charles, you've accomplished so much, and sometimes you should just chill. It's not like I'm unhappy, always comparing myself with others, but sometimes it's good as well to sit on your mountain and look at the view, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. But I think as founders, most of them are crazy, so they have crazy idea,
Oh yeah,
crazy
100%.
aspirations, and and
Dude, I'm
so
I'm crazy. Like, yeah, no, it's no one can convince me the other way. I'm batshit. I
yeah.
did this 10-kilometer swim 2 weeks ago in Cancun. I think I told you that. Took me 5
Yeah.
hours 20. What kind of person in their right mind would do that?
I know, but that's what makes it all interesting, right? Like I have a friend, who he actually passed away, unfortunately, but he started, his, whether you want to call it side hustle or like a program, like it was kind of like a coaching program actually. And when I met him, had a loose understanding of like marketing funnels, like lead gen. And couple years later, I mean, I was so surprised to, like I knew he was a good guy, I knew he was smart, but to be able to kind of like figure all this stuff out, like I had my, like I had my not hesitation, but like, I had
Doubts.
my doubts that he would kind of get there, like, surprised. I was surprised to, like see him reach the level he did. He was, I don't like to kind of like throw these numbers out there because it's not always about that, but he was making like 1 million or so per year after like 2 or 3 years of grinding. And so especially in his case, coaching, things like that, I think that's impressive. He built a community of, I don't know, 15 or 16,000 people on Facebook and stuff like that. So I think it's one of the beautiful things about being an entrepreneur. And I think that's maybe like we were talking about VCs, like sometimes, like it's not about like the product idea, it's just about investing in the right person. And you never always know who the right person is, and you never know their tenacity and their perseverance to be able to pull things off and start with.
Right. And then it's quite sad to see these people go away, like yesterday, I think I was listening to Avicii, the artist, and me makes me sad to see these young hustlers going away like so quick. Same for Sam Zell when he passed away, like me, it really makes me sad because I know that I value entrepreneurs quite a lot, and their skills and their mindset and the people that they are, they give back quite a lot. And yeah, it makes me sad sometimes to see that they move away just like that.
Yeah, yeah, it happens. It happens. It's a stressful job, not for everyone.
And talking about Sam Zell, you have your investment in real estate too on the side. Like, how much time do you invest in that?
It's like I have, a couple properties overseas, but I haven't really played in the market here in the US. I like to be able to buy things in cash, so we don't have additional bills and like respond or obligations and responsibilities and liabilities, so to say. So that's the next move, is maybe potentially start, like, actually for past couple of days trying to figure out like where's the next Austin in America, like where you have an up and coming community of younger founders, or just like younger generation, where the city is vibrant and is on the verge of uh, exploding, whether with tech or whatever industry there has, like good
Commercial or
schools.
residential?
Residential. I was looking to actually buy a house for us here in the US, and so that way I can spend some time in Mexico, some time
And why not look
in
at
Vegas.
Mexico? Because to me, it seems the big opportunities would actually be here with the digital nomad community relocating. We've seen innovative projects for nomads in Tulum, for example, or on the Oaxacan West Coast. Lots of opportunities here. Why not look there?
Yeah, so we got a place in Playa del Carmen, and we got a place in what do you call that? The city
Juarez?
in Nashville. Not Juarez. Well, Juarez too, but that's my girlfriend's kind of domain.
On the
Um,
border or Puerto
no, it's
Vallarta?
the no, it's close. It's 2 hour drive from Playa del Carmen. It's the city, the
Oh,
city that.
Tulum?
No, not
Cancun?
Tulum. No, it's not as. Not, what do you call it?
Google it. We want to know.
Uh,
Merida.
Merida. Yeah, that one.
Merida is a very good investment, that I can tell you. Very cheap, and it's gonna. Yeah, I would check just the tourism rates, right? The growth. Merida is like top tourism, and if you've checked,
Mhm,
also like Oaxaca won the best city of Mexico for, I think, the second year in a row. So
mhm.
Oaxaca is like good, quite good investment as well. Yet, me, I find myself quite uninterested most of the time with real estate. When you can build startups that you can put less time in, and in, well, I mean, real estate is very low time, but you can grow your brain cells and have higher exits, quicker exits. So why invest in real estate when you can build startups?
So that's like the same question. It's not just startups, but I'm here in Texas, and there was a nail salon up for sale. Seems
Okay.
like a pretty good deal, like 1x the revenue. Like you can buy it out.
Wow.
Like the owner wanted 200,000. It has about 400,000 in, or 450 in revenue, and it leaves about 130,000 in profit. So it's like within a year or two, you can pay off for the whole business, and then it's kind of like a passive income. So I'm with you. That's why I'm kind of like debating: is this is this something that is real estate the play, or are there some businesses that don't require too much attention? So I'm kind of exploring those things right now.
Right. And how's your time split nowadays? Like, do you split it between many businesses, and what do you do exactly in those businesses? It sales, it recruitment, it management? Tell us.
Yeah, so I think I've come to realization that, I'm kind of like a 0 to 1 guy. It's like, have an idea. Okay, let's get it up and running and make sure, we're generating revenue and creates, uh, job opportunities, this and that. And one of my weaknesses is like what about, 0 to 1 is one thing, but 1 to N is kind of like the next, I think step for me in my career. Right. And so, uh, kind of like shifting focus more into trying to manage our team more than doing a lot of the tasks myself, kind of like hands-on. And I think that was like one of the key things that I was not doing last year. And I think it showed, like most of my focus was on like finding more new business, right? And we generate far more business opportunities for our company than the amount of, contracts we were able to fulfill, just because, like I wasn't paying attention to like what's going on the delivery side of things. And so I'm kind of like had to step back and, understand like what's going wrong, how to manage my time better, how to think more structured or in a structured way. And so now, like the way I approach things is like, okay, like one day, like if I need to dedicate, time to understand how to roll out like a social media strategy that could work for our company, let's just put all the focus on this, limit the amount of meetings, and then have something for the next day, right? Because I think one of the problems, like when you're an entrepreneur, especially when you're doing many things, like there's something that can, there's something that needs your attention at any moment or time, right? And so it's not everyone is good at task switching, like, like there's, no tomorrow. Even though I think a lot of entrepreneurs may struggle from like ADHD, and to them it could be interesting to work on one thing 1 minute, another thing on another minute. And I do that. I'm guilty of that also.
Can we call that struggle or just like fun?
But I
Or
think you
rolling
can
with ADHD, like
so I've heard something interesting, from just either reading or hearing a book, but let me look up the name. Jack Dorsey, right, the founder of Twitter. I think he founded Twitter, then he founded Square. I don't know what else he runs, like, which other,
cryptocurrency, then Blue Sky.
yeah,
I love Jack Dorsey, man. He's such an oddball. He eats once a day, just like myself. He does, he microdoses and follow these weird diets and does meditation. Love the guy, man.
Yeah, and then when I look at it, a lot of it starts to make sense, because it's like, like what the thing that I was going towards to is the way he breaks down his schedule apparently is, like Monday and Tuesday, he focuses on one company, one task, or like one or two tasks for those 2 days until he nails it. Next 2 days on this company. And so it resonated with me a lot, because like if I look at like, like my most unproductive days is like when I'm task switching, left and right all the time. And you mentioned the diet. To be honest, what worked for me the best when I was kind of like in the best shape of my life in the past 10 years, not, it was just having 2 meals a day, not one, 2 meals a day, green smoothie, and like one wholesome, like, a meal with like good protein and good carbs, and keeping it super simple. That was kind of like my go-to strategy. But then now I have a lady at home, I have a kid, so it makes things a little bit hard. But I'm trying to kind of get back to that simplicity of like, hey, like one good meal a day, plus maybe like one, like a, lunch or whatever of like healthy, either smoothie or something like that. Does the trick.
Interesting. Yeah, I've done the smoothies too, the green ones. I've done so many different diets and lifestyle, polyphasic sleep cycles, and 2 workouts a day, VS1, and yeah, eating the keto diet. Keto was somewhat disastrous for me, like way too much oil, and I was beginning my endurance career back then, and yeah, that's the stomach's always an issue, so don't recommend it that much. But it's been interesting, man. Thank you for coming on the pod. I think we shoot the shit, but we did generate various insights for the audience, so that's pretty cool. Where can people find out more about you, Dave?
LinkedIn probably is the spot.
The
I would say
go-to.
LinkedIn, Instagram and Facebook for more personal stuff. So
I'm gonna add you on Insta. All right, man. Thank you, Dave. Have a nice weekend, and yeah, see you next